The KUDZUKIAN Network presents GRINDSET, inside the mind of successful entrepreneurs with your host, Cynthia Daniels and William Sprague.
I think sometimes we overplan things and that can kind of cause a delay or setback. But I would definitely say dive in, get your name started, get your website up, get your business cards.
But you're going to learn from a lot of amazing people what kind of pitfalls that they have, the challenges, but what really made them successful, what made them keep going.
GRINDSET.
Welcome to another episode of GRINDSET. I'm your host, Cynthia Daniels, Chief Event Strategist of Cynthia Daniels & Company.
And I'm Williams D. Brack, Business Development Officer with First Tennessee's Asset-Based Lending Group.
So today's guest is Kayla Rodriguez Graff. She is the co-founder and CEO of SweetBio. The really cool thing about Kayla's background is that she was living the best life ever working in San Francisco, and her brother came up with a really cool medical device startup company idea, and Kayla decided to leave it all in San Francisco and relocate to Memphis. So today's show is all about pushing your fears to the side, trying something new, bringing your family along with you, and taking a risk. So we're really excited to hear about her story today.
And Memphis has over 50 medical device companies, Memphis and Shelby County. So let's find out on this episode how SweetBio is standing out. You're listening to GRINDSET, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. We'll be right back with Kayla Rodriguez Graff.
Riffin' on Jazz.
I'm Howard Robertson, one of your hosts for Riffin' on Jazz. Riffin' is your weekly visit with friends where we dive all in to that classic African-American art form called jazz. So don't miss Riffin' with me and my man Melvin Massey every week on your favorite broadcast and podcast platforms.
Riffin' on Jazz on the KUDZUKIAN Network. KUDZUKIAN! GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Welcome back to GRINDSET, and as promised, we have Kayla Rodriguez Graff, the CEO and co-founder of SweetBio. So let's just hop right into it. Tell me, what is SweetBio? Where did this name come from? What do you guys do?
We're definitely the sweetest startup here in Memphis.
I like that.
I got it all day. I'll keep them coming. So SweetBio is a 3-year-old Memphis-based medical device startup. I came here from San Francisco to start the company here, and it was really a technology born at the University of Memphis.
Okay.
Shout out to U of M.
Shout out to U of M. And we have found a new way to use an ancient ingredient, honey, to help your body heal.
SweetBio.
SweetBio.
I get it now.
And we use a special type of honey. It's called Manuka honey.
Okay. And where did this need come from? I mean, out of all the companies you could have started, I mean, medical devices, give me a little bit of insight as to how that came about.
Yeah, I mean, if there are two things I'm afraid of in life, one is bees and the other is dentistry, and this started as a dental honey company. I'm like, man.
All right, listeners, get ready for this.
Really hope this is a good idea. No, I mean, my background is in business. I love business.
Okay.
I'm super inspired by my family. I have such strong women business owners in my family, so I always wanted to do something
That's awesome.
of my own, but I never had an idea.
Okay.
And so when I moved to San Francisco, I thought, all right, it's going to be in high tech. It's going to be some app or some sort of new hardware technology, but I got a call about this medical technology from my brother, who is a biomedical PhD, and he said, I think that this technology has some legs. I think it's more than a product. I think it could be a business. What do you think? We were like, all right, well, let's see if it could work. And that's really, we had this idea and we had the passion and said, it's worth giving it a shot.
Helps to know smart people.
It does
Absolutely
help to know smart people.
Well, but how do you get from, idea creation, right? I think you said there was a clinical need that was developed first, that then transitioned to research, that then transitioned to a business. So at what point did you come in to this process?
Right. So SweetBio started in the dental industry, and an oral surgeon came to University of Memphis and said, I use a product every day called a membrane for dental implant surgery. Yep. So they turned to my brother, who's this tissue engineer, and his advisor, Dr. Gary Bolin at U of M, and they said,
Hey, Gary.
Yeah,
I mean,
Gary.
Dr. Bolin. I apologize,
Exactly.
Dr. Bolin.
Exactly. And they said, hey, can you guys are renowned tissue engineers, invent me something. And this epiphany moment happened. It was, most of these products are collagen-based.
Okay.
And that works well to help heal wounds. And so does honey. But honey and collagen have never been mixed before in this way. And so what they did is said, all right, let's refine it with this oral surgeon's input. And they created a next membrane. Yep. But what they really invented is this next generation of healing. And
amazing.
It was unbelievable. And so 3 years of development went in. Yeah. And then I got a phone call that said, we can't develop this anymore. It's where it needs to be.
Wow.
And I said, all right, I have 2 questions. Okay. Can it be used outside dentistry for other parts of the body? And the answer was yes.
Okay.
Can we patent it? Can we bring this outside the U.S. and make more money outside the U.S.?
There we go.
And the answer was yes. So he said,
awesome.
All right, well, the fastest way for us to de-risk this is to apply for an accelerator.
Yeah.
They ask hard questions.
Okay.
They ask a lot of questions. And if you can answer most of them, you can figure out if, something's good or not. So
one thing I'd like to share with our listeners here at GRINDSET, we're on the KUDZUKIAN network, but I want to make sure they understand what an accelerator program is. Epicenter is a huge presence in the GRINDSET. So were you starting with something like an Epicenter? Was there any other resource you can tell them about in the Memphis community?
Shout out to Epicenter.
Shout out to Epicenter and Starco. I mean, going through an accelerator program, in my opinion, is the best way to figure out if your business has what it takes to be what you want it to be.
Okay.
An accelerator is a boot camp that's 100 days. Startco offers incredible accelerators in multiple industries. Epicenter also has an incredible accelerator program. Most of the time, they're over the summer. And you're all in this boot camp, figuring out your market, understanding your financials and setting pricing, understand operations, understand marketing. And at the end of it, you pitch at a demo day. Okay. And Memphis Demo Day is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it teaches you in 3 minutes how to get something across. And so these accelerator programs are
preparing you.
It is a huge asset to the Memphis ecosystem to have these entrepreneurial accelerators here.
Awesome. And was there a cost for these accelerator programs?
No, actually, you get investment from most of these accelerator programs. So when I left my
job,
what do I sign up?
Right,
that's a major key to our listeners.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. You can. You have to apply. It's very competitive, but they'll fund you so you don't have to worry about some of the financial expenses of quitting your job.
Right.
And really taking this huge leap of faith. You have this ability to hit the ground kind of running and work full time. When you're all in full time, you learn a lot faster, and that's what these accelerators do.
And so you started solving the problems of dentistry. Now, are you continually to help me with my teeth, or have you gone into other industries and other areas?
Yeah, what's just so amazing is I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
Ignorance is just bliss.
But that's what a lot of entrepreneurs have in common. I think a lot of people listening that are scared to take that leap, they're waiting for that perfect moment. I have to have this much money in my bank account. I have to have this business plan that's elaborate.
Right.
Sometimes you just have to take that jump, right?
Right. And I promise I'm gonna answer that question about where we're going after dentistry. But let me rewind to the 60s, right? Like my grandma moved to the States with no money in her pocket, from Puerto Rico. And that's risk. You know what I mean?
That's
when you
risk.
start a company now in 2018, there's absolutely risk, but there are ways you can de-risk it.
Yeah.
And so there's so many steps. Accelerator's one of them. Epicenter has so many resources that you can put your ideas through other people to make sure you're not burning all your boats and then swimming home, So that's where I feel like we've redefined risk and failure in our minds, because what our family went through, that's risk. And this for us is us paying homage to what they did
generation.
And open doors for us. So, but next for SweetBio, so what we're looking at, dentistry was the first place we started. It's tough regulatory. It's going to take us some time through the end of next year to get on the market. Yep. Everything in dentistry applies to wound care. So bed sores, diabetic foot ulcers, all the work that we've done applies in that market. So we just submitted an FDA application there and expect to be on the market mid next year.
Wow. Well, shout out to Epicenter too, because you seem to be a huge advocate of Epicenter. It's such a great resource for our city. Now, you're listening to GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN network, And right now, we're understanding what SweetBio is. So thank you, Kayla. When we come back from the break, we're going to go to the beginning. How are you raising money? How did you start raising money? Is it your own? Is it fundraising? Are there any challenges? So we'll be right back. You're listening to GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
No, and I'm not alluding to the president being a nut. I really am not.
No, you're not alluding to it. You're saying it. Funking up your airwaves and jamming the good information in your ear. Once again, it's Funky Politics.
On the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Hey, I'm Kayla Graff, CEO and co-founder of SweetBio, and you're listening to The GRINDSET, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Welcome back to GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network. We're here with Kayla Rodriguez Graff of SweetBio. So far, we only one pun in with the business name, but I do want to...
It's all the buzz. I don't know what you're talking about.
I love all the buzz. That's right.
And so one of the things we always want to know on this show is, how do you get started? Was it family money? Was it loans, credit cards? Are you raising money? And so you could just take it from there.
Yeah, so our first money in was the accelerator programs. So that really fueled our first, all right, let's build our first package. Let's build our first prototype. And in 3 months, what really made the difference to raise that first million, which happened 3 months.
Million in 3 months?
Million in 3 months. We put a roadmap together and said, all right, what do we need to achieve? Let's just grab a pack of Post-its and let's write down each activity we need to do. How much is it going to cost? We don't even know these answers.
How much is it going to cost to raise money?
Right. How long is this fund? What do I got to do? And we made this roadmap, and then we pitched that, and we said, the one thing we know is the numbers are going to be wrong. The timing's going to take longer than we want it to, but we know how to think through this problem. We know what we don't know. We go talk to people when we don't have answers. So that's a team that you're investing in.
That's awesome.
So when they invested the first million in us, that was some friends and family, but mostly VC money.
From
that
where?
went in.
Was it California or New York VC money?
Yeah, that was Memphis VC money. Right.
Memphis.
What's VC for people that don't know what that means?
Yes, venture capital. And that is some of the hardest money to raise. You know, your first rounds are these angel friends and family, but we got institutional investors. And I mean, I'm proud to say it's Innova and MB Ventures here in Memphis that are just phenomenal partners.
Well, just for a point of education, so venture capitalists are using institutional money. So teachers' pensions, police union pensions, they all have to invest somewhere. And so they give venture capitalists money to invest in new business startups to be able to grow. And angel investors are typically people with income, if you're a husband and wife or you're single, incomes of $250,000 or a net worth of $1 million or above. And so angel investors are typically individuals, a group of individuals. And venture capitalists are typically institutional funds given to professional investors to invest in riskier startups, what gives you greater returns. And so that's just a point of education. But how much of your money is in the business?
Yeah, so we get that question a lot.
All up in the business.
Right?
I mean, how much skin is in the game is what we want to know. Right.
Yeah, so when I moved from San Francisco to break my lease and do everything, move my family, I mean, that was almost $20,000 to move. And that's not investment in the business, right? Because I couldn't use that cash. That was straight out cash. And then I took my 6-figure salary and went down to basically nothing, which was what we've had for the last 3 years. So kind of my answer to the question is the opportunity cost of what I'd be making elsewhere is the money I continue to reinvest in the business.
Those are real dollars.
Those are real dollars that I can't, bring back to my household for my son or for my husband or go on trips.
And most businesses don't make a profit until the 5th year, right? So you're still right on the radar.
We're doing good then. Yeah, we're doing great.
So in 3 months, you raised $1 million. Is that all you've raised, or?
Yeah, so to date, 3 years, we've raised $3 million.
Yeah. 3 for 3?
3 to 3.
Incredible.
3 is a good number for us, but it's really, we're a medical device company. We've got to prove our product is safe, it's effective, that we can manufacture it at full scale with healthy margins, that we can attract top talent, that we can clear all these huge hurdles like reimbursement, and that takes big dollars up front before you can generate $1, and that's a different risk profile for a lot of investors. And so we had a lot of selling SweetBio on a hope and a dream in the beginning because we had no revenue dollars, we had no EBIT, we had nothing, no net profit to show to anyone except you're investing in the team and our ability to make this happen.
So which was harder, the first $1 million or getting the $3 million?
Gosh, the third $1 million was the hardest.
Really?
Yeah, the third $1 million was the hardest. The first $1 million, people are like, yeah, they're so excited. And now it's like, all right, show me the traction. Show me the financials. Show me how you're going to raise $5 million next year. And show me how you're going to grow your team. And it's like rubber hits the road. You can't tell this like, I'm SweetBio, and this really fun, exciting story. Yeah. It's there because I'm Puerto Rican. It's never going to not be there.
Yeah. And energy is contagious.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have the energy because that is a differentiator. Just like I can't help it. But it's really rubber hitting the road and the true numbers. And so they expect some big things for our next raise. And this was the hardest.
Now, this is GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN network, and I have a GRINDSET question for you. It's really two-part because I don't want you to get distracted on one or the other. So one is, are you profitable? Like, do you have any revenues for your company? And I forgot the second question, so you can just answer that one.
Well, I'm going to jump in on the second question. I know that you're also a mother, very new mother, and there are a lot of women that are listening that have little ones and that feel like I can't be an entrepreneur and be a mother and be a wife and all of the other things. So I definitely would love you to touch on that.
Yeah. Revenue, $0. Next question.
Well, all right.
No, being a medical device, we have to be cleared by the FDA. We got to invest millions, so we expect to be on the market soon, and we're going to be on the market in veterinary, which is an awesome early revenue opportunity early next year. Yeah. So all of this selling SweetBio was, again, out of hope and a dream, and really at a huge sacrifice. I'm a new mom, and what it takes to run a company. If you're an entrepreneur, it takes a lot mentally out of you. And in the last 3 years, I've gotten engaged, married in Puerto Rico, so planned a long distance wedding, and then had a baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of times I get the question, did you have to pitch pregnant? Yes, I did. I pitched 9 months pregnant. I closed the round of 700,000.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. And the thing is, it's being confident that I've got the right support behind me. Right. My investors, when I told them, hey, I'm expecting, they were thrilled. And I did not expect that reaction. Wow. But I did hide it for a long time because you do have this battle. Yeah. But the thing is, it's hard being a mom. It's hard being an entrepreneur. But if it's going to be hard either way, I want to pick the way that has a really nice shiny light at the end of it. Absolutely. And so for me, it's worth the grind. It's worth the grit to be able to get there. So.
Is entrepreneur mom a term yet?
Momtrepreneur.
Momtrepreneur. I love that. Yeah. And then one more thing I want to segue into, as you were talking about being a woman and you almost felt like you had to hide your pregnancy, but thankfully your investors were very happy about that. Tell me about any particular times where you felt like because you're working with your brother, do you feel like, okay, if it was two men pitching something, two brothers, two cousins, what have you, they would get the money with no problem. But because you're a woman with your brother, have you ever encountered any situations like that? Am I touching on a nerve?
You got jokes. Man, I mean, besides the fact that I think I'm a millennial.
You are.
Hispanic.
It's so confusing.
So young Hispanic woman in business with my brother. There's just a lot of things that they could pull out of that to say, no, not interested. And you see all these powerhouse brothers getting investment in the Valley and in New York.
No
and
problem.
Then they see us, they're like, oh, wait, is this a family business? It's like, no, we are a high growth company that's ready to, make it in the world.
But what about the merit of the business, right?
Yeah, I mean, give us a shot and let us show you what we can do. We say what's best for SweetBio is what's best for us, and that's how we make strategic decisions.
Now, in addition to that, have you had any challenges raising money?
You got jokes too? I mean, this was by far, I've been fundraising for the last 9 months, and it is brutal. Not being on the coast is really difficult, but I'm proud that almost all of our $3 million has come from Memphis. Memphis has stepped up.
Wow.
So, but it hasn't been easy, and I hope that we could pave the way for the next generation of startups to help, especially with Epicenter, to help make it easier.
That's awesome.
Well, stay tuned because in the next segment, we're going to talk about what's ahead for SweetBio, and again, looking at what are some of the obstacles that Kayla had to overcome to move forward.
And finally, Dr. Kay Streeter.
Hello.
How are you, Doc?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
Great. Psychologist and a boxing matchmaker.
She's a streeter fighter.
Of the famous Streeter and Streeter.
Yeah, there you go. She's going to bring it to us straight from the Streeter.
Let's talk about this segment, Gumball.
Now is not the time to hate or criticize. Now is the time to disinfect and deodorize. Like the incense, it's going to be funky.
KUDZUKIAN! GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Welcome back to GRINDSET. We're here with Kayla Rodriguez Graff. She is the CEO and co-founder of SweetBio. And we're really just kind of having an amazing conversation talking about how she pretty much uprooted her life in San Francisco to move to Memphis to start a company with her brother. And the results have really paid off. I mean, she's only year 3 into the business, but I mean, she's given us a lot of great insight and letting us know, get that fear, take risk. You can be a new mom. You can do everything, right? So we're just really excited to have her here. And what I want to know personally, what's next for the business? Are you going to branch outside of Memphis? Any new partnerships? What's next for SweetBio, the sweetest business around?
Yeah, pretty sweet, huh? Pretty sweet. I mean, growth. Growth is what's next, right? Okay. Like, that's what any startup dreams about every single night is grow. If you sleep, right? Then you can
minimal sleep,
right?
Yeah.
The next 30 days for us, it's getting this round, everything completely wrapped up with fundraising. Okay. Then the next 60 days, we're bringing on new talent on the team. We're growing our team.
New talent. Wait a minute, a new hire.
A new hire.
How did you know it was time to hire someone?
I mean, when you start feeling those pressures, I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing where it's not my core competency. It is not using the investor dollars in the best way of me completing that task. Okay. Yeah. But also I look towards the future, and we do strategic planning every quarter and say, what do we need? Yeah. And I can't fill that, or Isaac can't fill that, or our chief operating officer, Axel, can't fill that. And when we brought Axel on the team last year, that was the biggest, I think, eye-opener for Isaac and I, was to say, wow, we brought someone on way smarter than we are.
Than a PhD in biotechnology. Wow.
Everybody has a moment where their team has to grow.
Have to grow, and you don't want to wait too long, because then you're desperate, and then you could have a really bad culture fit, and culture trumps strategy every single day.
Absolutely.
So the next 60 days will be hiring talent. The next 90 days, we're going to sell something in veterinary. I'm saying it now. And then in the next 120, so I guess that's 4 months, we're going to be close to getting a clearance and on the human side. So that is, those are my next 4 milestones over the next 4 months.
That's definitely major key alert.
That's definitely a major key alert. So with zero revenues, how do you? Well, no. So I'm gonna make this
real. Even though she's raised $3 million, I'm
gonna make this thing layered, right?
Yeah, right.
So with zero,
tell me about this cake.
So with zero revenues in raising $3 million, as a mom, as a daughter, as a husband, with all of these layers, right? How do you measure success?
Wasn't
ready for that one.
Yeah. We talk about this one a lot on the team, because if we're not aligned about this on the team, we're going to have a lot of problems. And for us, success at SweetBio, if you ask, we kind of have the high five. We want to be best for our investors, best for our employees, best for our customers.
You sound corporate already.
I come from Target, so I can't help it. But
that's in your DNA.
Right? I'm classically trained in business. But the thing is, at the end of the day, we want SweetBio to be a wild success financially. We want it to be a huge name in Memphis. We want people all over the world to look and say, wow, look what came out of Memphis, Tennessee.
That's awesome.
And if I don't make a single dollar out of it, and those two things happen, that to me is a success.
That's awesome.
I want my son to see that a strong woman is not only powerful, she's graceful and beautiful and brilliant. And so for me, when I look at him every day, I'm like, Mommy, let me show you what women can do.
Can we finish this poem? Strong, graceful, beautiful. Okay.
Right? Every day I wake up, I'm like, baby,
fearless.
Yes, baby, you go work hard today. You're gonna have some fun. You're gonna be kind. And if you can just live by those simple principles and do what you freaking love, and if you can make money at it, that's what I get to do every day. So success is I get to live my dream while making dreams come true for our shareholders and hopefully do something incredible for our city. That means a lot to me.
I love that. Well, you're listening to GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network, and we're just finding out what success looks like for Kayla. We also want to know, what's the best advice you've ever been given?
That's deep.
All right. Give me layers, right?
Yeah, here's some layers.
Right.
Best advice, let's talk about decision making, because we all know what it feels like when you're sitting in indecision. Like you got a big decision and you're just wavering. You don't pull the trigger either way.
Right.
And I don't know, I have to look up the quote, but one quote says, the best decision you can make is the right one.
Okay.
The next best decision you can make is the wrong one. And the worst thing you can do is sit in indecision.
Wow.
Right? So as you look towards, a high-risk business, it's like, all right, you don't have any answers. Let's make smart decisions.
Make a decision.
And if it's wrong, then we're going to learn from it and make more decisions and more decisions every day. And you get good at decision-making. And then when the really big ones happen, you're practiced.
If you don't know who's made that quote, I'll take credit for it.
Okay, deal.
And so
that was me earlier today.
Right. Talk to us about the level of family and friend support that it takes to do something like this, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, people ask, like, who is your most supportive, who's the one person? And it's like, man, it takes a village to raise a baby and a company. Yeah. My husband, first and foremost, I mean, he is full-time at FedEx, doing an incredible job. Part-time CFO, full-time dad, chief laundry officer. Like, he's just like a game changer in the Graff household.
What's your husband's name?
Kevin Graff.
Hey, Kevin Graff.
Yeah, I mean, he's a game changer. And then my mom lives with us, and she really is the MVP of SweetBio.
What's your mother's name?
Becky Tirado.
Hey.
And she, moved here to help bring this to life. I mean, she gave up everything that she had to come here to help take care of our son so that we could see all of this come true. And then
I know she's proud of you, right?
My gosh, I mean, and we do this for her, because she did all that for us. So
absolutely.
I've got my brother who I work next to, who I want to make proud every day. He's my older brother, and each like our parents. But really, I reached out to a few friends lately and said, hey, I want you to check in on me and make sure that I'm doing okay, because as entrepreneurs, I don't think we reach out enough. You have these tough moments, and it's not all great every day. It's like golf. You miss more shots than you make, right? And you get mad out on the course, or you get upset, or you get discouraged.
And you're almost on an island sometimes as an entrepreneur.
You are on an island, and I feel like I ask my friends, like, hey, I know that you're not an entrepreneur, but I do know that you know what struggle looks like, and like right now is a struggle moment for me, and like I need you to just keep checking in on me and asking me how fundraising's going, even though you don't know what it's like. Just ask me how it's going, and my friends have really they've stepped up, and in Memphis, and my friends I've collected in Minnesota and San Francisco have been amazing.
I love it.
So you're listening to GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN network, and one of the things I want to do is, since you've been through an accelerator, many accelerators, just talk about some of the ones that you've gone through, just so people can be aware of the resources that are available to them.
I mean, Memphis, in my opinion, is one of the best cities in the world.
Shout out to Memphis.
To start a company. I mean,
you heard it.
Let me tell you something. I'm sitting here in 2015 in San Francisco, and we get into Y Combinator, the top accelerator in the world, and we get into 0 to 510 through StartCo and Memphis BioWorks, and we said, what should we do? All right. And we chose Memphis because of the resources here. You've got medical device resources. You've got startup ecosystem and resources. You've got Southern hospitality on top of everything.
I'm telling you, we're the nicest people in the world.
Not to mention the ribs.
Right. And then that is dangerous because you come from San Francisco and then it's like, man, these ribs are so good. I just got to eat them all. But it's, the resources that are here are to help de-risk you and to figure out things fast, to fail fast and learn and grow.
That's
and
beautiful.
StartCo's message and is to start and never stop.
Yeah.
When you stop, that's when you lose progress. And it's just keep listening to people, keep listening. And there's so many people here to talk and listen to. So, I mean, Memphis truly has one of the most welcoming startup ecosystems, no matter where you are, from launch to grow.
Oh yeah,
and that's why I'm here.
That one is quoting you.
There you go.
Now, so we're out of time, but I do want to take a little extra credit and talk about these Prudential commercials that you and your family are in.
She is famous
because they highlight Memphis, they highlight you, they highlight your family. So I just want to, it's at 300,000 views now. Maybe we can get it to 1 million.
Yes. I mean, shout out to Memphis because Prudential picked 6 cities across the U.S. with unique statistics, and it could have been highest birth rate or, longest lifespan. And Memphis happens to be one of the cities with the highest growth of women-owned businesses.
Incredible.
Wow.
And they reached out and said, we want to do a story on this. We want to showcase this because this is unique. And they came and they filled my life for a couple days with some awesome other founders like Audrey from Code Crew and Kat
Shout out to Audrey and Code Crew.
Yeah, and Kat from Muddy's Bakery.
Oh, incredible.
Muddy's
And they
is
did
delicious.
a 30-second spot that's playing on prime time, like on The Voice, on football. It's just unbelievable. I'm getting calls and texts across the nation. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a beautiful spot on Memphis and on women and just showcasing like the future.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has just been an incredible episode. I definitely want to invite you back because I'd love to hear what those next 120 days look like. Were you able to execute your plan? But I just want to thank you for joining us today, Kayla. It was an incredible interview.
Sweet experience.
Yes.
I got it.
We ended with a pun. Yes. You're listening to GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network. We'll be right back to close us out.
GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Best in Blue.
There's a picture that's been floating around social media, especially Facebook. That's probably got 7 or 8 little old church ladies standing on the porch, and they all got the hats on, they all carrying purses, and it says, "My first police." The only police that I've ever been afraid of was that group. That was me growing up.
Best in Blue on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Welcome back to GRINDSET, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. We just finished interviewing Kayla Rodriguez Graff of SweetBio, and I just had a wonderful time interviewing Kayla and getting to know SweetBio. And usually I start with the major keys when we're closing out, but I just want to give a shout out to some of the great institutions who've been able to contribute to the work of SweetBio. University of Memphis, Epicenter, StartCo, Muddy's, Code Crew, Prudential, and most of all, just Memphis. Kayla came from San Francisco to Minnesota to really thrive in Memphis between her and her family. And I had a great, I laughed a lot. So I just want to kick it to Cynthia now.
It was a great interview. So today I want to talk about Madam C.J. Walker, who was a pioneer entrepreneur. And my woman power moment quote from her is, "Don't sit down and wait for opportunities to come. Get up and make them." So that speaks volumes to Kayla's story and the fact that Memphis really is known now for women starting up companies and being entrepreneurs in this great city.
Shout out to women. You're listening to GRINDSET, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network, presented to you by Epicenter.
GRINDSET, executive producer Epicenter. Recorded at KUDZUKIAN Studios. GRINDSET is directed, produced, recorded, and distributed by KUDZUKIAN.